You know, people often say that you should work even when you are tired and exhausted. I totally get that. I absolutely understand that because I'm one of those people who likes to work even when I'm tired and exhausted. But no one has ever told me before, okay, how to work even when I'm tired and exhausted. Because for every people, their schedules are different, their lifestyles are different. I was one of those people who just couldn't figure out how to carve out time from my daily work life or from my school life to be able to work on my business or to be able to work on my creative projects. People don't usually say these things, okay? There is a system, there is a mechanism that I have developed for myself, and I think it might help some people. The first thing that you need to know is you can't rely on motivation and you can't really rely on willpower all the time, consistently, to be able to push through. When people say you need to be able to push through, yes, you can, but not all the time. You can only push through if someone had a gun pointed at your loved ones, and then you may be able to push through. But unless you are in a deep state of pain, or unless you are absolutely uncomfortable, it's very hard for you to be able to push through laying down on your couch. I don't know if you guys know or not. Some of you do, some of you don't. You know, the financial people, the bankers, the traders, how do you think they put in 16 hours of workday every single day for years after years? How do you think lawyers put in 12 to 16 hours workday every single day for 7 days a week? How do you think they do that? What? You think they're motivated? You think they have the willpower? They're much stronger. They're mentally more strong than you? No. They run on cocaine and hookers. I'm not suggesting that you do that. My system does not require you to take on hard drugs. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm trying to say is that those bankers, those traders, and those lawyers will put in 12 to 16 hours of work every single day for 7 days a week. They usually don't rely on motivation, and they usually don't rely on their willpower. If you need to be able to work 12 to 16-hour days, you need an external thing for you to be able to push through. Let's say you have already worked 8 hours, but now in order to finish the project, in order to go to the finish line, you need to put in 3 more hours. And you're exhausted, you're tired, you're hungry, you don't want to do anything, but those 3 more hours would get you to the deadline. That would get you to finish your project. How do you do that? First of all, coffee. You need to make coffee your friend. Don't rely on tea. Tea is not going to get you anywhere. Coffee would help. Strong cup of coffee really helps. Second thing, get an energy drink. A Monster or Red Bull. Red Bull works for me. Zero sugar Red Bull. It really works. And then, these bad boys. These are a miracle. So these are nicotine pouches, okay? These are Zonic. You can find them here in Canada. But in the US, you can find many other brands. You can find Zyn and other stuff. And you need one of these bad boys, okay? So these are cigars, but if you don't smoke, that you can rely on nicotine pouches. Okay. So these are the 3 elements that powers me in those dire times. Before you even ingest any of these, you need to make sure that you have a quiet space. You need to make sure you have a time frame, and you can use a timer, one of those dial timers, to set a 2-hour time limit, or to set 1-hour time limit when you take them, okay? You take them right when you start your timer. And that timer is for your work timer. And if you take these, you may not like it in the first 2 minutes, but when you take this, you take one of these pouches and put it right under your lips or under your tongue, and you just leave it there. That's how you take it. So what happens when you take this, it feels good. I don't usually take these when I'm just sitting down and not doing anything. I only keep the nicotine pouches for my deep work sessions. And when I take these, first 2 minutes, I really don't like the taste for Zonic. Maybe I'll have to try a different brand. But after I take these, it easily gets me into a deep flow state. Like, this is what you want. You want to be able to get into a flow state. And these massively help. these 7x your productivity. It helps you so easily to get into that deep work state, to get into that flow state. And once you're into that flow state, my friend, it's so easy to get the work. Let's say I don't have the energy, but I need to push in 2 more hours of work. I take a cold shower. I'm tired. I don't have the energy. I have zero energy to push through. I don't. And none of these external things are working. Nicotine patches aren't working. Coffee isn't working. Red Bull makes me fall asleep. None of these are working. What I do, I just take a cold shower. It's one of those things, when people take ice baths, it just wakes them up. It's so simple. It's so easy. Take an ice bath. So the first thing that I do is I make sure space that I'm working on is clean. I have no distractions. I turn off my phone. I already put it on silent. I already have my workspace ready. I go and take a cold shower, come back, pop in one of these nicotine pouches, light up a cigar, start my timer, and work till the timer turns to 0. That's it. It's very simple. Not a lot of people do that. So when you are tired and when you are exhausted and you don't feel like putting in the work, do these things. And these systems will wake you up and will give you the massive boost that you need. And you can actually do that consistently over a long period of time.